Hi everyone, my name is Jane, and today in this video, I just wanted to explain what it's like to volunteer at a film festival, but specifically at Boulder International Film Festival, or as I will be calling it going forward, BIFF. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through my specific day to day, and I'm also going to be answering some common questions like, what's the time commitment to be a volunteer? What roles are available as a volunteer? What are the perks of volunteering? And what is the overall atmosphere or vibe of volunteering? Additionally, I'll be going over what I was able to watch because that's the reason you go to film festivals. And I'll be going over some of the winners and basically what I think you guys should watch. So if you're here because you want to learn about new movies, or indie movies, then I'll give you some of that too. Okay, so starting off with like my personal experience this year at BIFF. Basically, this is my second year volunteering at BIFF, and last year and this year I was on the social media team. My role last year was basically to capture like vertical video content for our Instagram stories. And this year it was that as well. And then also to be like producing and posting TikToks. But yeah, it was really just like helping document the festival in real time. So everyone who was there could go and watch the stories and like kind of maybe see what they missed. Or if you weren't able to go to the festival, you could watch and like see what was going on and see how it was. And this year, I had the incredible opportunity of interviewing Jane Lynch on BIFF's red carpet. It was before her panel, which was a conversation with Jane Lynch. And Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter was the person who actually interviewed her. It was one of the bigger events of the festival, so it was just like so exciting. But I was nervous, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so we'll start with Thursday. This was a 4-day festival. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday, my shift started around 5 p.m. So I immediately went to the media room, got my tasks, and then I went over to CineChef, which is really cool. It's a party, and it's where local Boulder restaurants, and I think Denver restaurants as well, would prepare dishes based on movies. So there was an Edward Scissorhands table, there was a Godfather table, and there was a table based on the David Lynch movies and a bunch more. And so I grabbed content for that. And then after that, I went on over to the singer songwriter showcase, which featured 4 local Colorado artists. I'm also going to be throwing up their Instagram handles if they have them in case you want to check them out. They were all like really amazing, and it was just a really fun time. One of the best parts about volunteering at a film festival is seeing all the festival goers like have a lot of fun, right? So that's why the parties are really fun, especially at the end of the night, because like they've already done what they came here to do, and now they're just like here to have fun and like talk about the films and like network and meet people. So that's always really fun. And then on Friday, I began my shift around 5 p.m. again. And I immediately went to the media room and dropped off all my content from the day before. Uploading your content from the day before is one of the most important parts of doing social media at a festival, because otherwise, the person who's posting on social media won't have any content to, use. And it's really important to be uploading on social media during the festival and not just afterwards. After uploading my media, I then went to the opening night party, and it was followed by a brass band parade that went through the party and then through downtown Boulder and ended at the Boulder Theater. It was so fun. After the brass band kind of brought everyone over to the Boulder Theater, that's when we watched the screening of The Friend with Naomi Watts. Then, after seeing the movie, I basically wrapped up my night at the Adventure Pavilion pre-party, and I just shot some footage for that. And everyone was just having drinks, listening to music, and networking and talking about the movies. So it was a really great Friday. So Saturday was a very full day. I started in the mid-afternoon and immediately went to the media room and dropped off all of my content like I did the day before. And then the first location that I needed to shoot content at was the filmmakers party at Japango, which is a sushi restaurant in Boulder. It was awesome. I was able to meet like a mix of filmmakers, festival goers, and just people who lived in Boulder. And that party is always really fun. It's a good vibe in the restaurant, and it's a great time. After that, I headed over to the Boulder Theater to shoot the Devo documentary. That was definitely like a bigger event because the lead singer of Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh, was there, and he was going to do a Q&A after the movie. I got to enjoy the movie and then shoot the Q&A, and then right after that was the Jane Lynch conversation. So some backstory is I had been asked to interview her about a week before the festival started, right? So I had a lot of time to prepare questions. I had sent questions over to my boss. Are these appropriate? Are these enough? Stuff like that. So they actually needed to approve the questions before I got the go ahead. And just the week before, festivals are just so chaotic. So when they didn't get back to me, I wasn't like pressuring them or anything. I was just like, oh, like maybe this won't happen. No big deal. So just with everything going on, the interview only got approved a few minutes before it happened. So my nerves were very high because I felt like I didn't have all the time that I wanted to prepare, but it turned out really great. And she was so nice. It's very strange watching someone on TV and then like having them look you in the eyes and like talk to you. So I kind of like blacked out a little, even though I was completely sober. But yeah. The interview went great. She was extremely nice. I got to ask 2 questions. It was less than 3 minutes. And I'll put in some footage right now. Hi, Jane. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
So tell us about your time in Boulder and your time at the Boulder Film Festival so far.
Well, I got here yesterday. I saw the Devo film, and Anita and Mark Mothersbaugh are my neighbors, so it was really, and I didn't know that whole story of Devo and how committed they were to their art and their what motivated them and how much fun they were, and how Kent State was a piece of the story too. So I recommend everybody see it. I think it's going to be on Netflix, so we'll see. But anyway, all the Boulderites that I've met are just wonderful, and this is such a great festival. There's such a great. I smell like French dip in the theater. I think they're serving French dip, aren't you? Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Well, that's amazing. I'm so glad that we've all been so awesome to you.
Are you a Boulderite?
I am.
Well,
I am. Yes.
Include you in that.
Yes, and so you're being honored as Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have your career be just recognized, and what does this award mean for you?
I guess I rarely step outside myself and go, and that someone has done that and went, and decided to invite me. So it's thrilling and again shocking, and I'm just really grateful.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see the conversation. I hope you have a wonderful conversation.
I'm sure I will.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
And it was literally the highlight of my weekend. BIFF is so fun. There are so many highlights, but that one was specifically it was amazing. After the interview, she basically sat down to do the conversation with Jane Lynch, and it was about an hour long, and it was so great. She talked about how she got into acting. She talked about her roles. She talked about meeting Christopher Guest, which, if you know, he does, I don't know how to describe the movies. They're like mockumentaries. Spinal Tap, my favorite, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and she was actually in Best in Show, and she said that that's like one of the highlights of her career. And then she also talked about her role in Only Murders in the Building. And then she was presented by the co-founders of BIFF with the Entertainer of the Year award, and it was so fun. She is just one of the funniest people ever, and it was awesome. And she seemed like really like happy to be there, and she was just a joy to be around. So yeah, it was awesome. And then after Jane Lynch's conversation, I basically went to the late night noir party and then I just shot some content there and everyone just had a drink and had some hors d'oeuvres and listened to music and it was really fun. Sadly, Sunday was the last day. Ended up dropping off my content at the media room and I headed over to the Siri Lindley talkback after her documentary Try Me. And let me tell you, I went there to get content and I left a changed woman. She is so inspiring. When I left, I was like, she should be a motivational speaker. Turns out she is, but she's so much more like, she just has a crazy life. You guys should watch the movie Try Me, a Siri Lindley story, I think is the exact name. It's about her life. She just has a crazy life. But she's meant to do what she does because she's really good at it. Then after that, I headed to the Boulder Theater to get some content of Kenneth Cole on the red carpet before his documentary, A Man with Soul, The Impact of Kenneth Cole. And then quickly after that, I ran over to the Q&A for Citizen Ruth, which is a story about a local Boulder woman. Unfortunately, after that, it was the closing events. I was so sad. The weekend had just absolutely flown by. And at the closing events, it included all the awards ceremony, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And it included the screening of Spacewoman, which is a documentary about astronaut Eileen Collins. After that, it was done. I went back to the media room, dropped off my content, and said goodbye to my social media team. It was so sad. Some of them I worked with 2 years in a row at this point, and then some were new, but basically all of them were 10 out of 10s. I would work with them again in a heartbeat. I literally love everyone on the social media team. And my boss is Jamie, and this was her first year, and she was just absolutely fabulous. Now I'm going to get into some of the FAQs. Number one is, what is the time commitment? Honestly, it's whatever you want it to be. This is for most festivals, but for sure for BIFF, you can volunteer once. You can volunteer every day if you want. You can volunteer before and you can just help set up the festival, or you can pass out pamphlets to, local restaurants and stuff like that before the festival, or you can volunteer during the festival. It's really whatever you can commit to and whatever you want to commit to. Number two, what are the perks for volunteers? This is extremely different at each festival, but generally you get vouchers for free screenings. It's usually if you volunteer, up to a few times, you get one voucher, maybe like 2 times for one voucher. At some festivals, you can volunteer one shift and get 3 vouchers. Every single festival is different. Specifically, as part of the social media team, the perks were kind of the access to the parties. Usually I was just shooting content there, so I wasn't able to mingle as much. But for me, meeting people and networking and those opportunities and getting to meet people who are actually running the festival, to me, that's the biggest perk for myself. What roles can you actually do? So there's a lot of different roles. I like being on the social media team because that's what my job is. And I find it easy and I find it fun. But you can scan people's tickets in, you can check guests in, you can hand out programs, you can manage the crowd flow at venues and making sure that people are where they're supposed to be. You can sell merchandise. There's so much you can do. And literally every role is so important. And there, especially at BIFF, is no lack of volunteers, and you need all of them. You literally need all of them. There's so many around. It's so nice. They can answer questions for the festival goers or the filmmakers. And it's just amazing seeing people who even if they don't know the answer, they can point you to the right person. Okay, so I wasn't able to see a lot of the movies, but I think it's really important to tell you guys who the winners were, because you'll probably want to look these movies up and watch them yourself if they're available to stream. So the Entertainer of the Year award was obviously Jane Lynch. The Catalyst Award went to Kenneth Cole. The Impact Award went to A Man with Soul, The Impact of Kenneth Cole, and that was directed by Dori Berinstein. The Best Feature Film was The Color Book, directed by David Fortune. The best documentary was Come See Me in the Good Light, directed by Ryan White. So, this movie is actually about Andrea Gibson. I'll read the synopsis. Facing an incurable diagnosis, two poet lovers embark on a poignant yet unexpectedly humorous exploration of love, mortality, and life's moments. But yeah, Andrea ended up passing away in July 2025, as I was editing this. So I'm just really glad that it played at BIFF and that everyone got to see it. And I mean, I only heard good things about this film. So I'm really, really glad that everyone was able to see it before she passed away, unfortunately. The best music film was Devo, directed by Chris Smith. The best sports film was Moses, 13 Steps, directed by Michael Wetch. The People's Choice Award feature length film was Come See Me in the Good Light, directed by Ryan White. That's great award. If you're listening to the People's Choice Awards, that's the one that like everyone voted on that they loved the best. So definitely go and see that one. The Johnny Kopp Adventure Film Award was Champions of the Golden Valley, directed by Ben Sturgelweisky. Love that last name. Another People's Choice Award for the short film was Mr. Cato, directed by Ryan Ross. The best short documentary was Max, One Last Favor, directed by Patty Bonnet. The best short film was African American, directed by Isaac Zeke Nicholson. The best adventure short was Keep It Burning, directed by Guillemette Brost. And the best Cine Chef was Kevin Grossi, the culinary director of River and Woods. So because I was just running around the entire time trying to get shots of like every different thing, I didn't get to watch that many films, which was very sad. But the two that I did get to watch was Devo, and I got to see the Mark Mothersbaugh interview after, and it was so good. I didn't know anything about the band Devo. I knew a lot of their songs, but very interesting band. They're a lot like deeper than I thought. And then I got to see The Friend with Naomi Watts. It was like I would say like pretty feel good. It was kind of sad a little, but it was I guess a lot about like grief, losing someone, also about I guess kind of making a new friend. And yeah, it was really good. And I got to see Space Woman about Eileen Collins, and that was really awesome. It was very heartbreaking because, she would go away a lot and she would be in space and she had a family and they missed her. And it was just all about, and all these horrible things had happened in NASA around that time, lots of very sad deaths in NASA. And so it was about feeling guilt for leaving her family missing her family being scared that something would happen to her, everyone in NASA not wanting anything bad to happen to any more astronauts. It was really great. I also think you should watch When Big People Lie by Gianfranco Fernandez Ruiz. I met him at the festival and he was really nice. I really had wished that I was able to go see his film. I just was working at the time, so I couldn't, but it looks great. So this year was extremely exciting for BIFF, but also for Boulder. Just 2 weeks after BIFF wrapped, it was announced that Sundance Film Festival, which is one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world, would be moving to Boulder in February 2027. It would be relocating from Utah to a new place for the first time ever. I think it's going to be really exciting for BIFF because I think BIFF is just going to continue to grow. And I think that the film industry slash environment in Colorado will grow in general as well because of Sundance moving here. I personally am really excited that the film energy is growing here. It's actually one of the reasons that I have personally decided to stay in Colorado longer than I was originally going to. So, but that being said, I just think that it's a really exciting time to get involved. And I think if you've never gotten involved with film at all, BIFF and volunteering there is like the perfect place to start. If you're thinking about volunteering at a film festival, I highly recommend it, especially if it's something that you love. If it's not something that you love, the time commitment and the standing and the moving around and the exhaustion might not be for you. Maybe do it with something else that you love. But if you love film, it will boost your energy, I promise. It will inspire you and you'll just feel amazing after doing so. Whether you're looking to build experience, make connections, or just be a part of something that's creative and inspiring, it's an incredibly rewarding way to get involved. And I will 100% be volunteering at BIFF again next year. Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to what it's like to volunteer at Boulder International Film Festival. And if you're in the area, I think 100% you should volunteer next year in the 2026 year. So, and if you do, I'll see you there. Okay, bye.